afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the studios of Grafton Community Television, located at 26 Providence Road. And this is our second segment concerning the Small Stones Art Festival. And I have a guest in studio. His name is Ken Crater. How are you?
Great, Bob, and thanks for having me today.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Always nice to chat with you. So we're going to talk about the Small Stones Art Festival, the 4th annual, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And have you been more successful every year?
Well, we have, although I have to say last year was very much a special case.
Oh, yeah.
We had to go virtual for all of our events, but they were very well attended even online, so I have to call that a success too.
That's good to know. So the art call, I believe, is still open, so you're still looking for people that want to submit their artwork to take part in the event. Is that right?
That's right. Our goal is to get a total of 500 artworks combined between paintings and also photography. So we're up to 400 now, and we're going to be closing regardless on September 15th. So there's still time for people to get their artwork in if they'd like to by going to our website.
Right, right. One of the things that we talked about with Bonnie when she was here was why would an artist who perhaps paints for personal pleasure, why would it benefit them to take part in an art festival or to submit their work?
Well, I think everyone that has some form of art that's a personal expression for them likes to have other people see it. You know, likes to have people enjoy it. And I know that's certainly true with, I'm a photographer. And for my own work, I do it basically for my own pleasure, but it's nice to show it around too.
And then it's a bit of a grow-up moment because you have to be ready to take the chance that you might not be a winner or you might not be considered. So,
yeah, I have to say, our exhibition, a major portion of our art festival is this exhibition of painting and photography. And it's a juried exhibition. And what that means is, out of the 500 entries, we have jurors that are well-known artists and photographers in the region, and they'll select the best 144 artworks, and those will go into our physical exhibition. We'll be showing everything online. We have a web gallery where all of the entries are shown. But for those 144, not only will they be in the exhibition at the Great Hall at 1 Grafton Common, but we also publish a hardbound book that contains a full page for each of those works that have been selected.
right. We were fortunate when Bonnie came in the other day. She brought a copy of the 2018 edition, so
great.
we got a chance to leaf through the book and see some of the submissions. Now, your judges, are they prominent artists who take place?
Oh, very much so, yes. And we vary them from year to year. For example, 2 years in a row, we had Jim Whaley, the longtime director of the Worcester Art Museum, now emeritus. And we've also had other participants from museums in the area, including others from the Worcester Art Museum that have taken part as jurors. But also working artists, people who are accomplished and well-known in the area, so they contribute their talents to help other people become prominent along the way.
And where do your artists come from? Do they come primarily from the Blackstone Valley, or do you have a little bit further reach?
Well, we do have a bit further reach, and we don't have any cutoff. We don't have any territory per se. But there is sort of a de facto filter because the artists have to bring their work physically to the exhibition if they're selected. So last year during the pandemic, where everything was virtual, we had one participant from India. Well, that's not going to happen this year because no one's going to jump out of a plane and bring their artwork from India to exhibit. So it's mostly the Blackstone Valley. We have a lot of people from Grafton that participate, some from Worcester, but really all through this area.
And so is India the furthest away someone has participated?
I'd have to say yes.
And then
yes.
second place other than India falls to who?
Oh, it might be, oh gee, did we have someone from Colorado once?
Okay.
But you know, that's
That's
a rarity.
a pretty good reach.
That's a rarity, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeez, good for you.
Yeah.
So I understand there's a lot of new programs that are taking place this year that might not have taken place in the past. Is that right?
Well, understand that this Art Festival was originally born out of a collaboration between 3 organizations. And I think the people watching this will probably know most of them. Of course, Apple Tree Arts provides us with our home for our exhibition
Sure.
at the Great Hall, but also the Worcester County Camera Club that's responsible for the photography aspect of the exhibition, and the Blackstone Valley Art Association, and they take charge of the painting aspects of the exhibition.
Okay.
But this year, we're joined by 2 additional organizations, the Shakespeare Club of Grafton, which is putting on a literary track for us. And that's going to be at the new library once it opens. And we also have Claflin Hill Symphony Orchestra participating, and they're going to do a musical presentation for us. And that's going to be at the Congregational Church.
Okay. So the Shakespeare group, I believe, you're involved with, right?
I've been a longtime member of that too, yes. Not one of the officers, but I love to take part and read Shakespeare with them.
Okay. So, just so that we don't miss anything, which of the events were specifically taking place at the library versus One Grafton Common?
Right, the literary track is what we have slated for the library. And that's going to have 3 major components to it. First of all, we have a live performance of a radio theater of the Spoon River Anthology, which is a fairly well-known work. I won't give too much away, but basically it's about a town that has a cemetery on the edge of town, and the now deceased residents come back to life to tell us a little bit about their lives around the turn of the century.
Right.
So it's a really fun piece, and the Radioactive Theater, which is a local group that does readings like this, is going to be putting this on. So we have 2 performances of that happening at the library. We also have a very prominent local author, Nick Basbanes, who is a longtime resident here in town. He's going to be talking about his new book, Cross of Snow, which is a biography of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And I'm halfway through it now, and it's a great read, and he's going to tell us all about it. And he has his daughter, who is now also a new author, coming along, who's going to be presenting about her work. She has done a translation of a mid-19th century French novel. And she's translated it into the English, and she'll be talking about that.
Wow.
And our final literary track presentation is by a professor at, excuse me, I have to go to my notes.
That's okay.
Forgive
That's why
me.
that's why we bring them.
We have so much going on now. Okay, so it's Dan Mahoney, Dr. Dan Mahoney, who is going to be talking about Orwell and the manipulation of language and how that can facilitate authoritarian and dictatorial movements within a country. So very topical thing to be talking about now, and I'm sure that's going to be very well attended.
I would hope so. I would
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a great lineup.
Oh, yes, it's phenomenal, and the Shakespeare Club has put this all together. Kathy Thornton, who is the secretary of the club, has led the way on that and has done an excellent job of putting this together for us.
Wow. Now, I understand there was also an event or a speaker scheduled who was going to present on art collecting.
Yes, Tom Sopp. He's a longtime art collector. He's going to be presenting at the Great Hall as part of the art exhibition. And he's going to be talking about a cost-effective approach to collecting art. You may not be a millionaire, but you might be able to buy a little piece here or there and have art in your home and enjoy it for your own purposes. So he's done a great job of that in his own life, and he's going to talk about how he's done it and maybe give us some tips along the way.
That's great. So people that are interested in getting in and Saving a buck, that's the guy to talk to.
Exactly right, and I will note that a lot of the artists that exhibit their work, they're also selling their work. So some of it will be available for sale at the exhibition if anyone's interested.
Okay, all right. So at the end of this segment, there'll be a short video that will list all the times, all the days, all the events, so that we don't leave anything out. And then through the magic of television, while we were chatting, the websites would be on the bottom of the screen. So we've got all the bases covered.
Great.
And then I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the October 1st fundraiser.
Ah, yes, which is actually on October 2nd.
Okay. My email said the 1st. We'll talk to Dana.
But thank you for bringing that up because it's very important to us. And this is the brainchild of a person who joined our organization just last year, I think very well known in our community, Sean Paget. And he has gotten together with a number of restaurant owners in the town mostly, but also in some surrounding areas. And they are putting on an event that is going to be called Gazebo Palooza. This event there'll be a small paid admission. I think we're talking about $15, but there will be all of the finest restaurants in town will be there serving some of their food. And you'll be able to go from booth to booth and just
sample it all.
Sample it all.
What a
And
great idea.
We'll have entertainment. He's lined up. He already has 7 restaurants participating and about as many musical entertainers that are going to be playing at the bandstand during this whole process.
That sounds like a great time.
So it should be a phenomenal time. It's going to be October 2nd between noon and 6 o'clock.
Okay. You think there's anything we may have left behind, or have we touched all the bases?
Well, I just want to reiterate one aspect that I know you talked with Bonnie Frederico about in your interview with her, but we do have coming up an art auction, which is also a fundraiser. It's an online art auction, and that's going online on Monday. I believe that's the 13th, and it's going to run until Friday. And you can get to that from our website. And we have some of the wonderful artists we have in the area, in fact, some prize winners from our previous festivals have donated some of their artwork so that we can auction it off to raise funds for the festival. So that's going to be online, and people will be able to come and take a look at it and put whatever bid they want in.
Right. And again, as we were chatting, those addresses are appearing right below us, so people know exactly where to go. Thank you for coming in.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. On behalf of everyone at Grafton Community Television, thank you for watching. I'm Bob DeToma. As promised, here's the information about the exhibit. The hours are Friday, October 15th, 7 p.m., opening ceremony and reception. The exhibit is open Saturday, October 16th, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday, October 17th, 12 noon to 4 p.m. Expanded hours include Wednesday, October 20th, 4 to 7, Thursday the 21st, 4 to 7, and Friday the 22nd, also 4 to 7. And on Saturday the 23rd, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Sunday the 24th, noon to 4 p.m. Special events include Artist Talks on Sunday the 17th, 2 o'clock, the Juror Talks on the 17th at 3 o'clock, and Tom Soap will talk on art collecting Wednesday, October 20th at 6 p.m.